Hello everybody, hope you guys you are really doing great. If it's your first time to just watch this video in this YouTube channel, that is me, Tabitha Thomas, and you guys have been just saw one of my video that I started past weeks about just who is Tabitha. And today I have a very special friend of mine, Naki. She's gonna introduce herself and get to know her. But there is this longing for me for so long that I've been wanting to share about my faith, and she have all the questions. I don't know what questions we're gonna ask, but I know the question that she's gonna ask will be part of inspiring and get to walk this journey with Jesus. So yeah, so Naki, tell us about yourself.
Thanks, Debbie. Thank you for the introduction. Hi, everybody. I am Naki Shamai Mutetu. I'm Tabby's friend.
She's married.
Please. And I'm married. Oh, yeah, I'm very married.
Let's get to know that.
Yes. To one husband.
Just one.
And I've got a podcast. I'm a podcaster. I'm a YouTuber, a new YouTuber. I am a chartered accountant by profession and definitely a child of God. So I'm really excited to be here. Are you ready?
I love it. I'm ready. I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready. And before just we take so much of your time today, I'm gonna give Naki to continue asking me the question that will really be part of this video today, just to get to know what is faith and whatever question that will come out of this. You can comment, you can just ask some of the questions. Maybe I'm gonna be able to get to you and encourage you if you can inbox and get to want to know more. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so first of all, friend, I think for me, I've always told you this. I admire your relationship with God. I love how your relationship with God keeps evolving, and I've learned a lot from you. So the first question I might really have for you is, because life is not easy and there's a lot of challenges, right? So how do you remain intimate with God and continue to trust Him?
Wow. That's a good question, actually. I think the Bible speaks about faith is something hopeful, and it's something you don't see it, but it's something you hope. And I think that's only always keep me that even if there's a challenge, there's a difficulties, either in relationship, either in ministry or in workplace. So by God's grace, I was in corporate before and come to the ministry now. So I have all these ideas of how it looked like being a corporate, the challenge and difficulties, and now being in ministry also being facing the same, like there is a good part, there's up and down, but how I get to put my faith in God and walk this journey of faith and trusting God to carry me in all seasons. I think just looking unto Jesus, the Bible speaks, and the book of Hebrew again, that look unto Jesus as the author and finisher of my race, the one helped me to really continue hold on to this faith.
And you certainly live by that. I really admire that, because there are times where life gets really tough, and I think when we have so many troubles, we are clouded, right, by pain, by hurt, and we tend to not hear God. So how do you manage to hear God even in tough situations?
I do love quiet time. That's my favorite. I want to share with you some of my tips. So you can do some of my tips, but my quiet time is the place God most of the time speak to me. So I do love mountain. I love nature. So sometimes I get to go to the nature, and either it's a mountain, a place where it's very quiet, sitting in a place where like it's very quiet. There's no noise of this place of like go to YouTube or going to WhatsApp. You just be you and Jesus. And most of that time when I just dedicate myself to be in that space with God, I could hear His voice. He could talk to me as a daughter, and I could feel Him. Sometimes I don't really hear His voice, but He just showed me some of the nature. I say, do you see all this house in the top of the hill? Do you see all this house? If I can provide for this house, how much more about you? You're just one person, Tabitha. And that's the way I've been really getting to be close to God, listening more of His voice, and separate that time with Him. Yeah.
So how can you say, like, because I know, friend, one of the touching stories you ever told me is how you lost your mom and how close you were to her, right? Yeah. So can you say that when you lost your mom, it's hard sometimes that people can say there's a reason, right? Why you lose your mom. But as a Christian, I think as you evolve and grow, you start seeing what God was doing. So do you feel God has been your comforter, has been your mom, has been a parent to you? How has your relationship with God evolved?
Actually, that is a really touched question. I can't say when it's good. It's a really touched question because I was really in a good relationship with my mom, and by the time my mom passed away, I was still growing in my faith. So I was not this Tabitha that with this strong faith, crazy faith. Even if my mom gonna come today to be alive again, she's gonna be shocked of Tabitha who is go everywhere, God call. You know, I was that person who loved to stay at home. Even I can't go even visit my brother or my sister. I was just a mom girl, you know. So for me, over years, God was telling me the time my mom passed away. At the beginning, I couldn't believe on that promise because he was telling me he wanted to adapt me, him to be my dad, and he gonna be my everything. And I remember I used to tell God, "You stay in heaven. How can you?
How can you be physically present?
How can you be physically present? Are you gonna bring food like my mom used to bring food at school? God, are you gonna bring food?" And the answer he used to tell me said, "I'm gonna do more than that."
Sure.
And at the beginning, I couldn't believe that promise. How are you gonna do that? And later on, 3-4 months later, I went through a lot of sickness, pain, and grief, and I felt like there is no hope. I didn't see the hope of my future. I didn't see hope of living. Great news that I knew Jesus. I didn't feel like maybe I want to do something bad on myself. I knew that God still wants to fulfill what he promised. It's just me try to control my emotion and my feeling and like be upset with God because like, God, I'm so young, why you take my mom, you know? And because my dad passed away when I was little, so my mom was everything, you know? But I'm grateful that I end up, after 4 months later, I said, God, I want to hold this promise. I want to take this promise. I want to be your daughter, and I want you to be my dad. And since then, I started living a life of God as my dad, and I call him dad. I used to confuse a lot of people in my high school. Like every time they ask me stuff, I say, I want to go ask my dad first. But that was God. And that is being more than 20 years now. I've been living that faith of him as my dad, him as my everything, and he being very faithful dad.
No, I love that for you. I mean, my mom also lost her parents at a very young age, and it's hard when people tell you in that moment that, you know, there's a reason. But I think when you grow and evolve in your relationship with Christ, you start seeing, right, that there is a reason. Do you think grief for us as Christians has a time limit? Like, are we not allowed to cry? Are we just allowed to trust in God and just...
I think take your time as much you can, but allow God to walk through that process. Because if you don't allow God to walk through the grief, for me, if I couldn't allow God to step in, I could be grieving for my mom's death till today. The Bible in the book of Romans say all things work for our good. I become very strong Tabitha today because of even not my mom being present, and now God being creating this new spirit in me, this boldness of become a big girl, different from the time I was little. My mom was spoiled me. I was very like spoiled child, and so for me, I take it personally. I feel like allowing God to take control over your grief will help you to recover soon. The soon, the better you allow Jesus to take control, because you can grieve over 20 years, 50 years. There's people who lost their mom, their dad, their wife, their husband. They still grieve till today. And it's not easy that you're gonna forget that person. It's not gonna be forgettable. But allowing God, even when you remember, you're just gonna say, God, you're in control. You control my emotion, you control my relationship. I know I miss my mom, but thank you for giving people that I call mom. Gave me people that I call friend, that I feel loved, walking around with these people. So I think it's just allow God to step in your grief. And it's okay to take a time. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to cry and take out those emotions, but it's okay to take another faith of allowing God to take over.
Totally agree with you, friend. Before I ask my last question, let me make sure it's recorded. Could have stopped. Okay, so this has to be the last question.
Okay.
Because we have 8 minutes.
Okay. 2 minutes.
Okay. What was I about to ask? Oh yes. The other aspect of you that I love and I admire is how you do your missionary work. And I think missionary work takes a lot of faith
So true.
because the money is not necessarily coming off your bank account, it's relying on other people's bank accounts.
So true.
So, how do you keep the faith? How do you approach people? How do you find people to assist? And how's that process like?
It's been really, I don't want to say a challenging journey, but it's been very interesting journey with me and God.
Yeah.
One thing I'm grateful that I know God never failed me is I got a faith. I definitely
too.
feel that I got a faith that helped me. Every time I feel like this thing of rising fund is very overwhelming, it's too much, I get to remind myself, I got a faith. Faith is something of seeing hopeful, so I can see the hope, I can see trust. And I think one thing that's been also keeping me to be encouraging myself that there's nothing is impossible to God. If I'm trusting God to go to a mission trip, I'm raising money to go to UK now. I need like 100,000, like for the trip, but I already raised like 50K, and that's not even on my own strength. That 50K is just like really journey of trusting God every week, every month. And something that's been encouraging me as well is just to continue praying, trusting God. I'm not good in asking. This is something I've been growing over time. I'm not good in meeting friends. If I see friend, I'm just like love to just enjoy like time with my friends. Some of my friends just they see what I need, they just step in and support me. Some of my friends they reach out to me and become my ministry partner. They're my friend, but they support me financially, in prayer, in different ways. And that is something I'm still growing of. Continue asking in different ways. So I'm good in asking the videos like this. When I do send a video and asking people, that is something I grew up also. I grew up for past years that God is telling me you need to ask, because other blessings or asking you not get it.
That's
so
true.
That's the reason I started becoming more of outside asking and telling people. But also I'm still learning on and reaching out to people who are, hey, this is work that I'm doing, and this is what God called me to do. I'm welcome you to be part of this. And some of the people say yes, some of the people they say they are not in good space now, but they consider doing it later in future. So I think it's just trusting God in the process, being helping me a lot. Yeah.
Awesome. And if people want to help you, you're gonna put like your banking details, your email address in the description box?
Yeah, definitely. Part of this YouTube channel is sharing my story and all the faith journey, the story that God is still writing. I'm gonna continue to share all the things that I need in the season. I'm looking forward for UK trip. I welcome those who want to partner with me, those who want to pray with me, those who want to journey this journey with me. So I'm really opening for anything that God will speak to you. Yeah.
Yay!